We're back. We've got a pretty big boy here we're checking out today. This is the HHZ, just says trading card, deck box card holder thingy me thingy. Yeah, this is very similar to some of the other stuff we've taken a look at here. It's a sturdy and durable card deck box. Now, there's a bit more to it than just that. There was another video that I did about basically what was a card deck box, sort of like hotel sort of thing. This is kind of, in the similar sense there. It says right here, 7-in-1 removable card storage box, versatile deck holder designed for organized storage. Ideal choice for gamers and trading card collectors. Strong magnetic closure keeps your cards secure. So yeah, we're going to open this up. We're going to see if it's actually worth your money. Let me go ahead and flip this thing open. We've not opened this yet, so this is a first look for me too. And oh, okay, we got some plastic on it, which is good, because sometimes whenever these things get shipped to me, it's just like the deck box within a box. And so there's lots of rubbing that goes on, and it doesn't really, it doesn't appear as if they even tried to protect the deck box. Come on. Oh, there we are. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't even appear like they tried to protect the deck box in some of those other situations. And this one, it looks like they at least put a layer of plastic over it so it doesn't rub up against the cardboard there. Okay, so let's see. How do we get this plastic off? Ooh, look at that. Okay, so again, it's very much just like any other storage box that you might see, or deck box, I should say. Again, very similar to the deck box you've seen me use for some time now, which is this is the box I keep the Commander deck in. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we've got some stuff here on the sides. Flip it up there for the camera. Again, it says HHZ, so it's nice that it's actually branded. Oh, I am seeing these Commander windows are a little more oval than some of the other ones. That's a little different there, and they do kind of pop out a little bit. Huh. Interesting. Okay, do we have the same thing over here on this side? And yeah, very similar thing. It feels like it's kind of popping out a little bit here. We'll have to check the build quality on that. And then we've got here over on the side, of course, here's our little bottom flap, and there's our top flap, and it is branded, so that's actually kind of nice. A lot of times we'll get products in here that they'll be called a particular brand, sometimes kind of nonsensical brand names, and they're not branded or anything. So it looks like the company that had these commissioned through whichever manufacturer they chose at least said, hey, let's put our actual brand name on it. So HHZ, again, is the name of the brand name. So let's go ahead and flip this down here, and let's start taking this thing apart. All right, come on. There we go. We got some paper right here. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay. Right as I flipped that open, like this kind of smell kind of hit me a little bit there. But it's not a bad smell. It smells a bit like new shoes. Yeah, kind of like new shoes. So not so bad. Not so bad at all. Okay. And I am looking over the build quality as I go here, and I'm not seeing any major issues. Look at that. Okay, so we've got a little paper back here as well. Let me grab this. Toss that over here. Okay. So it looks like we've got a total of 6 storage boxes here. Or actually, no, we have 4, but they're broken up separately here. This one, it looks like these 2 over here have 2 each, and these ones are just smaller, and they've got just the 1 each. Now, each of these does have, it looks like a magnet holder. Yes, these are magnet holders here. Okay, yeah, and they all slide out. Okay, so we are going to break this apart here, and let's take a look and see exactly how this all breaks up. I believe it should just kind of, oh wow, that magnet is kind of strong there. Okay, very nice. Okay, so we got some strong magnets there. Get rid of more of this paper. And as you can see here, these are just kind of like a double deck box, and we've got some dividers in there that we'll take a look at. Set you over here, this paper. Okay, and then, yeah, there is a magnet here that does attach. Oh, wow, you can actually see all the magnets there, too. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like we got a total of 8 magnets on the bottom that do kind of hook in or attach to these deck boxes over here. And then it looks like we also have some on the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 8 more over here to accommodate these deck boxes. Wow, look at that. And they're actually pretty good. They are sticking, just for the magnets themselves. Okay, let's take a look at this top here. Now, I do believe, I don't remember if it said it for sure on the, oh, we got a little loose strand here. That's unfortunate. I do remember something being said on the product description page that said that if you wanted to, you could use this as like a mat, which I guess technically it could. I mean, it's big enough. Look how large this thing is. It's about the size of a standard playmat. Let me grab my regular playmat over here just to kind of give you an example. Okay, so yeah, it is about as wide as a playmat. Is it about as tall? Not as much. Yeah, it's a little bit shorter than your standard playmat, but it is still wide enough. So I guess if in a pinch, if you needed something to play on and you didn't want to just expose your cards to like a bare table or something, you could use this. Yeah, this could actually work, I guess. And again, I am seeing a little loose strand there. There's a big, nasty kind of double stitch right there. Let's flip this thing over. Let's see. We do have a tiny bit of bubbling right there, but nothing too bad. Okay. Anything going on with the stitching? A little bit of excess stitching over here, which kind of matches with what I saw here on the back side. So that makes sense. So overall build quality is reasonable. Let's take a look at this first singular deck box. Okay. So as far as build quality, I am seeing a tiny bit of excess glue there. The top looks mostly okay. We've got magnets all over these things. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got 2 over here. We've got 4 over here. Yeah, there are magnets all over this thing because it's, you know, you're basically, this whole thing is kind of held together with magnets. So now let's take a look at, see what the actual storage capacity is on this single box. And I imagine that that single box is going to be at about the same storage capacity as one of these double ones. And now it's kind of pushing apart here because the magnets are different polarization, but okay. Yeah, it's about the same size. So I imagine one of these would actually equal, you know, the same as this. So let's go ahead and break out our 100 card single sleeved commander deck. Let's stick this sucker in here just as it should go. And there you go. You've got plenty of room there. Absolute ton of room. In fact, I would say you could easily fit 130 cards. Let me break out the secondary deck. This is 30 single-sleeved cards. This should fit in here just fine. Let's see. Little bit of a tight fit, a little bit. 130 cards single-sleeved, and I guess if you really wanted to, you could push it to 132, maybe 133, but after that it's going to start, I imagine it's going to start getting uncomfortable. Uncomfortably tight in there. So yeah, I'm going to say 130 cards single-sleeved for each of these. So just to kind of give you a number there, let me separate this. So you've got 130 there, 130 there, and then of course you want to multiply it times 2 here and times 2 here. That is a ton of cards. That's very much a full commander deck plus sideboard plus any sort of extras like tokens or anything that you may actually need. Now, of course, if you use the dividers along with the cards that you put in there, the dividers do take up a little bit of room there. I believe these are probably going to be probably 0.5, so 0.5 millimeters you need to account for, which is about the size of maybe a card and a half, maybe 2 cards. Let me break out this magnet holder, because I do want to take a look at it here. We're going to see if this thing is actually any good. It is a 35-point top-load magnet card holder. It says UV protection, ultra clear. Let's go ahead and open this up. I have tested plenty of magnet holders on the channel before. Some have actually been really, really good. Some have been downright terrible. And as far as clarity, this thing does look pretty darn clear. It's really nice. It's got the frosted edges. Let's check our magnet here. Magnet feels reasonably strong. Reasonably strong there, and this should slide right out, and it does. Let's see, did we get any shaking here when we shake it about? Wow, that's a really nice tight fit there. It moves ever so slightly, like it's so slight that you can barely even tell. Wow, that is a very tight fit. It does have that little notch there at the bottom there. Wow, okay, so that's a very, very tight fit. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. We're going to pull this out. This is just like regular paper. This is not actual cardstock. Let me grab my deck box again. And we're going to grab just a regular old single-sleeved card. If I can get it out here. There we are. Let's see. Does this thing actually take a sleeved card? It appears like it does not. Yeah, the sleeve is just a little too big for it. So it looks like the only way you're going to fit a card in here is going to be either just the bare card itself, or if you have one of those perfect fit inner sleeves, which do appear that they will go ahead and fit in there. There is a little bit of give, so even if that undersleeve is a little on the bigger side, there is some wiggle room there, as you can see. It just looks like it's kind of in between, like it's a little too big for just the standard card by itself, but a little too small for the standard size sleeve. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Get it all loaded up there. Okay. It does move around a little bit. That's expected. But as far as does it actually slide out between the two plastic slats, yeah, there's no give there. Wow, okay, so it does not move at all. So, yeah, the tolerances where these two things kind of meet together, where the two slats meet together, are excellent. Yeah, there is no give here. It doesn't wiggle hardly at all. So yeah, I imagine I could do this forever, and this card is not going anywhere. Yeah, that's actually really, really good. So if you were to put it into one of those undersleeves, then put it back into this thing, it'd be perfect. And just to kind of give you a look, what it looks like there, that's how it would look there in the commander window. Now, one thing I did notice is that once you take that plastic protection off, this does slide right out. It doesn't hug it very much, so that's not a huge amount off, but, you know, I do prefer the deck boxes that do kind of hug these particular things, be it the top loader or a magnet holder a little bit more. These, unfortunately, do just slide right out, so it's really up to you if that's going to be a big deal to you or not. But yeah, that's actually, that magnet holder is actually top-notch. I really like this magnet holder. Okay, so it looks like we've got pretty decent capacity on each of these boxes. I am going to take a quick look over here as far as the build quality on each of these. It is a little on the weird side. As you'll see here, this looks really, really thick right here, which is kind of odd. Yeah, it feels like they could have done a little bit better job on the overall building, because this doesn't look all that good there. It feels like it has this big fat lip on it. I'm seeing the same thing over on this one as well, and it looks like it's a little bit sloppy here. You've got some overlay here. It really does feel like each of these could have been... Oh, wow, we've got some excess stitching here, kind of just hanging out. Yeah, same thing here. See right here? It just doesn't look pretty. It looks a bit sloppy. We got a little excess glue there, excess glue there. A little on the sloppy side from what I'm seeing here. Again, the commander windows look okay. But yeah, I'm seeing the same thing here. Oh, look at that. It just doesn't look pretty. It looks... I don't know. It looks like whenever they were gluing this, they were just forcing parts together. Look at that. You got this big old divot right there that you can see. Yeah, let me take a look at this last one. Was this one? This one's a little bit better, though it does still have this little part over here. It doesn't have as big a lip over on this side. This one's a little bit better compared to this one. But yeah, I think they could definitely do better when it comes to build quality, because that just doesn't look pretty to me at all. It looks a bit sloppy. So I would still say it gives a pass. Oh wow, we got some loose thread there. I would still say it's a pass, but they definitely need to improve on this. Maybe spend a little extra time just making sure this doesn't look so, you know, kind of tossed together is what I would say. It feels like it's a bit tossed together, so they could definitely improve there. We got some more loose stitching right over here. Actually, I don't know how clear you can see that, but I may actually, yeah, there it is. I may actually have to take the scissors to that and snip it. So a little sloppy on the build quality on these deck boxes. So hopefully they can improve upon that. Let's take a look at this dice tray. Okay, so again, made out of the similar material. Looks like we've got some loose thread right there already. And again, it's got magnets all over the place. It's got 8 magnets up top, 8 magnets here. I imagine it's going to have more here on the side. And we got some paper here. I can get this out. There we are. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 magnets right there. And again, it's going to be the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So lots and lots of magnets on this thing. I don't see any magnets here on the side. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not feeling any on the sides here. Just on the bottom, the top, and on these other sides right here. So let's go ahead and flip this thing completely off. And yeah, got a little bit of a loose thread right there. Some double stitching there, but not too bad. And there you can see all the magnets in all their glory. More double stitching up there, a loose thread here. It's okay. Again, a little sloppy, could be better. The tray itself, it looks like it's running into the same problem the deck boxes are. Because if you take a look right here, look at that. It looks just sloppy. Like they didn't, you know, really put too much effort into making sure this looked really, really clean. So this corner looks kind of ugly to me. This other corner looks fine. This one looks mostly okay. It's got a little bit of a loose thread there. And then this one, yeah, again, this one just doesn't look clean to me. It looks like they kind of smashed it and flattened it out. And Yeah, it's the same thing as the deck boxes. They just need to clean this up more. They need to do a little bit better on the overall construction. It does have that kind of soft material on there, and are y'all seeing this the same as I am? It feels almost like this thing is kind of slanted a little bit. Are you seeing that? Is it just me? It feels like each of these sides is slanted this way ever so slightly. Maybe it's just my eyes. I am curious though. Let me measure from here and here. All right. So that's 104 point. Looks like 104.8. 104.8 on that side. What about this side? 105.3. So the sizing is a little bit different. So about a half millimeter. So maybe there really is something to that. Yeah, it just doesn't feel quite right. I don't know. It just feels like this is slanted ever so slightly. Again, if you could see that on camera, great, because this just looks a little off to me. Got to work on the build quality, HHZ. Yeah, the build quality is a little weird here. I'm gonna give you a pass, but just barely, am I saying? I mean, because it is still functional. It just doesn't look pretty. There's so many of these issues on each of these pieces here where it just doesn't look pretty at all. It just feels like, well, if I'm going to pay a premium price for a premium product, you need to have superior quality. If you don't have that, I'm going to feel like I got ripped off. So let's take a quick look at these dividers here, which are branded. And how many we get here? We get a total of 6 dividers. Wow, these things feel thin as heck. Wow, this is not even a 0.5. I think these are 0.4. Wow, okay, so one of them does have kind of a textured front to it, where the branding is. On the back, it's much smoother. And it looks like, yeah, that's how all of these are. Let me measure these. These do not feel like 0.5s, and usually 0.5s are the minimum. Let's see, is this, yeah, this is a 0.5. Yep, 0.5, wow, but these things feel flimsy as heck. I mean, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. They are very, very flexible. I guess they're okay. I mean, you got the various different colors here that don't really match what you got. But, I mean, you know, I guess if you just wanted to kind of color code each of your deck boxes, and maybe whenever you're putting your cards in there, stick that in there and be like, oh, okay, that's the white one, so that's whatever deck. But then again, you also have your commander window, so you could just use that. These are fine. I'm not going to harp on these too bad because, I mean, at least they're branded. They're 0.5s. They've got as much flexibility as you would anticipate from something that's a 0.5. So these are fine. I'm going to say these are perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and put this whole thing back together, and I'll give you my quick overview of what I think about it. As I was putting this back together, one thing I did want to mention to you all is that the magnets themselves all attach to the deck boxes and the dice tray. And yeah, as you can see, they all lift up. So the magnets are reasonably strong. Now, of course, if you load them all up with cards, they're not going to be able to stay like this. But there are no magnets that actually attach this whole thing to the top, except for these little flaps right here. These do kind of attach to the sides here, as you can see, just to kind of get it all secured there, although they are not great. Yeah, these flap magnets are a little on the weak side, especially the bottom one. Wow, this comes right off. So what do I think about this entire kind of deck box hotel sort of thing they got going here? Solution-wise, I think it works. Although, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, they're just sticking out a little bit there. Solution-wise, it does work. There are a lot of small things that are wrong with this product that just add up. They kind of stack and stack and stack, and before you know it, it gets to the point where there's just so many little things that aren't quite right that it really makes you think twice on if you should actually buy this. Like I said, the lip down over here, the magnets are pretty weak. That may or may not be a big issue to you, but it's at least a small concern for me. The commander windows are a little on the weird side because they do sort of bubble out. I mean, you've got little stitching issues all over the place. You've also got a little bit of excess glue, but not too bad. And again, like I had mentioned, if we open this thing back up, just how clean these look. They just don't look very clean to me at all. It just feels like if they had taken just a little bit of extra care into making sure that it looked good when they were putting it all together, it would count for so much more. Because when I see how dirty this looks, or how this looks, or these edges over here, how dirty they look, it just, and in fact, I don't know if you could tell, but this actually has a noticeable lip on it. where it was pushed down so much that it has like this little bump right here. Just little things like that have added up over and over. I mean, you got it here, you got it here, you got it here, here. It's just all over the place. Same thing with the dice tray. It's just little things like that that just added up and made me kind of pause before I could actually recommend this. I would say if you're looking for a solution like this, technically it will work, but it's not going to look pretty, because to me, this sort of stuff just shouldn't happen. And this excess glue right here. None of this stuff should be happening here. The magnet holders are excellent. I really like the magnet holders, so that's a big plus from that. It's just the overall build quality is somewhat substandard to me. And so I can't fully recommend this product. I will put an affiliate link down in the description if you want to check it out. If you decide to buy it, up to you. I'm just a little worried that it just looks so sloppy to me. It looks really ugly. And again, like I said, this is not a cheap product. I don't know what the actual price is at this time, but I imagine this thing is going to cost you at least $40, possibly $50 or even more. And because of that, I think if you're paying $50, $60 for a product like this, it needs to look good. And it doesn't. It looks sloppily made. Like they just had a really great idea, but the execution was just kind of when they were building it. It was like, that's good enough, that's good enough. I'm going to leave it up to you if you think this is worth your money. I would probably feel pretty bad if I paid for this, which I did not, being very clear about that. I did not pay for this, but even though I didn't pay for it, I still feel like I can't recommend this. I just can't, because it's just so sloppily made. There's another video that I have here on my channel, I believe it's for the Ono sort of hotel deck box thing, which is very kind of similar in spirit to this, which did a much better job on putting the whole thing together. But this HHZ, you got a little way to go there. You're almost there, HHZ. You got to fix up this build quality stuff. If you can do that, then I can definitely recommend the product. But until you do, I'm gonna have to say it's up to you guys. I can't recommend it. I'm not gonna completely say no, don't buy it. But like I said, if all the others look similar to this, you might be a little disappointed by paying that premium price. Anyways, thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video, all that other good YouTuber stuff. And we'll see you next time.